VOD review time. Today we're gonna bronze 1 Kayo main, who's gonna be playing Kayo in Split. Let's take a look at his strengths, his flaws, and what we can do differently. These VOD reviews are actually free. If you want to be featured in a YouTube video, all you gotta do is go to the link in the description, click on the Discord link, and join the Discord. From here, in this tab here, you're gonna see exactly how to sign up for a full free VOD review and be featured in the next video. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the review, and take care. Let's talk about the buy really quickly, and let's talk about how the buy for pistol is partially personal preference, but also could be objectively better. And let's take a look here. So where it's personal preferences, you do have the option to buy whatever you want. However, notice at the end of his buy, he still has 200 credits. It is ideal, most times ideal, to try and buy down as heavy as you can. How we can maximize this a little more: Molly's 200, flash out is 250, right? He buys Molly armor, and that's 600. But what if we bought Ghost and a flash, or Ghost and a Molly? Now instead of 600, we're spending 700 or 750 for that round. And what that's going to allow us to do is possibly have a slightly better advantage in the round because we're putting more into it. Okay, so let's talk positioning here. It's a good spot to start. If you're alone by yourself on site and you don't have the ability to get out, let's say you're not Jet, let's say you're not Reyna, maybe Chamber for that matter, Omen, that could teleport out of a one and done in this corner here. There's nowhere for me to get out. If I'm alone on site, not tradable, I definitely don't want to play this corner. And the reason why is I'd much rather start here or even closer here, hold for as long as I can, but then when it's time to give up the site, I have that ability to. I could give it up and play retake. I could give it up and play retake. I could go this way, give it up and play retake. If I'm sitting in this corner, that option is simply not there. I either have to get all 5 or I'm dead, and I'm not going to have my util, which is on recharge in another 30 seconds, for retake. But in between, notice what we're staring at, and this is a very common problem amongst lower ranked players, is that when they're not exactly engaging with an enemy, they're going to stare at walls, they're going to stare at the floor. And so notice staring at the floor. Now we're looked up, now we're ready again, but then we're staring back at the floor, and we're just not ready, right? We get away with it here, but we want to be a little careful about that. Always try and keep our crosshair tight to the wall, and I can kind of show what we mean here. And here's what our actual crosshair placement should be versus what it was, right? Always head level. A good indicator for head level is like just around these bricks here. So it's always good to kind of stay around there. Hold yourself tight to this angle. Gets a little lower once you're on this platform here, but generally speaking, it's the right area. Then once they're coming around, whether we're holding back for these people here, or we snap ourselves to this side, we want to make sure we're still holding tight, generally speaking tight, to the corner of an object of where we would see an enemy, and make sure we're always at head level. We never want to let ourselves go down. We never want to let ourselves go wide. Same thing when we turn back around. He takes a fight here, turns back around. Once we abandon this fight here and it's safe, no one's going to swing us, we need to snap back to the other way, put ourselves at head level, and stay, generally speaking, tight to any object or cover. It's not perfect, and it's not, especially, you know, it's something we need to get used to. It's not something that's going to be always perfect, but generally speaking, remain ourselves somewhat snappy to objects. The common mistake of low-ranked players: underbuying. So we have a ghost. We drop the ghost for a sheriff, only light armor, and a couple pieces of util. First of all, you want to buy heavy. Heavy shields. Heaviest shields you can go, which is usually almost always heavy shields. And then from there, we could buy a Spectre. Without changing our money right now, I can tell we definitely have heavy shields. That's 2,600. Spectre leaves us with 1,000. Util, 200 plus 500 is 700. Plenty of money to buy full armor, full util, and a Spectre with a couple hundred credits to spare. Because it becomes much more important to secure this second round than to underbuy and potentially lose the second round. So this is something we need to communicate with our team, and that sounds dumb, but look, we end up dying to CT. This is a needed call out. You know where he is, but the rest of the team has no idea. Look at them scramble their teammates trying to clear different angles. That needs to be a call. Instead of, oh my god, we need to hear Sage CT. But we don't hear it. Yours clearing random angles. Our other teammates clearing random angles. The only one that really knows is Raze. We figure it out. She wraps towards heaven. We get the kill. Could have been a problem, though, if we don't communicate that. Clear communication skills. All we need to do. 1 CT. No, oh my gods. No. Ugh, why is he there? No. I hit him for 100. Clear communication.
down A.
That ends up working out really well for him, but I hate that it does, because any higher, it does not work, and I'll tell you why. Simply put, their team just did not communicate where he was. He's in a spot where he cannot get out of. After he gets that first kill on Viper, he's pretty much dead. Should be dead. Whether they had a PC util to clear him out with a nade, or a molly, or maybe a flash, he should be dead. If you're on a gun round, especially Kayo here, we should be playing angles where we have backup routes. Now, what's a backup route? I'll show very basically. Well, first of all, this has nowhere to back up. If you're taking a point of contact with someone over here, someone's down here taking a point of contact on you, you cannot fall back safely without having to take another engagement. Versus if we're on this side, as soon as we want to stop taking that engagement, we fall out of the line of sight once we go back towards here. We go back elbow, we go back blue box, and at the very least, we have a secondary position to play that we're controlling the pace. Rather than here, as soon as they decide we're going to clear him out with the molly or anything else, he's done. And then technically we can have it, if we go elbow, we can have a tertiary position. So secondary position here, then a tertiary position either here or on this side. And so instead of having one position where as soon as you get spotted, you're done, you could have 3 positions. 1, 2, 3. Maybe even 4.
Yep, I'm dead.
The idea for a flash is good, but we don't want to be holding on our flash for half the round. Either you hold your gun out and wait till you want to flash, and then you pull out the flash, or you just don't flash at all. We don't want to be holding our flash out waiting for that quote-unquote perfect moment, especially when the enemies have opportunities to go heaven, go hell, and just swing us dry. Realistically, we want to keep our gun out as long as possible, and once we have intent to flash, then we pull out the flash. So instead of a lot of times holding, and then throw, a lot of times we want to have gun out. Oh, I know they're getting a little close. Pull out flash, throw. I don't recommend his map setting. Look at his map settings and how much of the map he sees. So I use a map that looks like this. You might have noticed it, you might not have, but notice that at all times I could see the entirety of the map, and I could see myself at all times, and every other player at all times. Let's show you my map settings. Fixed, based on side, I actually do have it swapped. So yeah, that's pretty much the game. Let's try and go over our main concepts that I think were our main problems. Big problem was one and dones. Don't play one and dones unless you're a character that can get out of them. Very basically. Generally speaking, unless you're on like an eco and you need to play like a rat or cheesy, playing in one and dones aren't going to value yourselves as much as playing positions that allow you to get out and save your life. Don't do them. Avoid them as much as possible if you want to become a better player. Next, I think, was our crosshair placement. So with our crosshair placement, we want to make sure, especially when even if we're not expecting a gunfight, our crosshair needs to be perfect. When we're looking at the ground, looking at any wall, getting lazy, that's when an enemy swings us and kills us for free. If we know that they're B-main, we always want to keep our crosshair towards that angle. Always near cover, maybe a little wider out and expecting the swing. But always speaking, generally towards where we expect them to be, and try and remain at high level. Last was keeping our gun out. A lot of times as KO, you feel tempted to wait for the perfect moment to flash. Sit here, and flash. A lot of times, if you want to flash and you think it's a good time to flash, do it right away. Don't sit here and hold your util out. If you don't think it's a good time, keep your gun out. Very, very basic concept. Pretty much it. Hopefully this helps. Again, if you want free coaching, go to the Discord link in my bio. It shows you exactly how to do it through Metafy. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.